Okay, everybody who's here in attendance at the Union Station Extension and who might be listening or tuning into this, watching it, listening it online at a later date, welcome to the Lowdown on Ridertown with the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders, 94.1 KRNA, and the Union Station Extension. We do this every Wednesday night, 6 to 6:30. That's the broadcast time, but people, they open up the doors about 5 o'clock. People come in and people stick around afterwards as well. Great community event. A lot of people out here tonight. And just for the record, so we have this down on tape, I just want to say this. It's February 22nd. This is our sixth show into this season, and it's I think it's about 70 degrees outside right now. The back door is open. Just want that on the record. It's pretty amazing. Thanks for coming out. Obviously a beautiful night. We've been blessed with some pretty good weather throughout the season doing this show. Haven't had anything too nasty as far as the winter weather is concerned. Tonight, joined once again by head coach Mark Carlson and also players Bobby Hampton and Stephen Agraganis. We're going to get into those guys in just a few minutes, and we're going to call this the Jersey Boys edition of the broadcast tonight. Maybe the Turnpike edition. I don't know. You throw out your Jersey affiliations, whatever you're feeling like. But we're going to have a little different spin to things here. We'll get into that in just a few minutes. We'll talk just a little bit of hockey, but then we'll get off on something a little more fun, a little more unique. But we got something in the plans, so just be braced for that. I want to remind everybody this podcast is up at the YouTube page, KRNA on YouTube, and also at krna.com. Usually look at the YouTube page first. We upload it there, and then we move it on to krna.com. Usually try to get these posted a couple days after we actually record them here at the Union Station Extension. As always, during the broadcast, we have food specials to bring everybody on out. 2 topping pizzas for just $10, and then, of course, for the kids, we have those $4.99 chicken strip baskets. There will be a drawing, as we do every week. This week, it's for a team-signed jersey, and you can still sign up. The table there in the back, I think the box is back there still too, so you can sign up for the next 15 or 20 minutes or so, and we will draw on the last couple minutes toward the end of the broadcast. Other than that, I think we've covered it all. Once again, a reminder that each and every week we do this. There's one more, I think, March 15th, where the Rough Riders have a game on a Wednesday night. You can see the whole schedule up behind us here. And after this, we'll have 4 shows left, I believe, as we cover through the month of March. We'll start off with last week's results for the Rough Riders. Friday, we have a 5-2 loss over at Omaha, I should say. And then Saturday, a really nice win for the Riders, 4-3 win at home against Lincoln. And Coach, I'll start there as we always do. Your thoughts on last week's action. Get a nice win there. A nice win, I should say, against Lincoln at home on Saturday.
Sure, I thought... the Omaha game there, we went in. I thought we were, did a lot of good there in the first, but ran into some issues with, we got to do a better job of taking care of the little things. And I thought we did a good job on Saturday getting some things corrected, and that was a heck of a hockey game, and we kept battling back. And I really felt like our guys just refused to lose that one, and it was a great win, and hopefully something we can build on here.
And Stephen, as a player, your thoughts on this past weekend's action? You guys get a nice win on Saturday night.
Yeah, I thought it was a good weekend for the guys. Obviously Friday night, not the outcome we wanted, but it was definitely something to build off of. And then into Saturday, that was just an awesome effort all around. The crowd got into it pretty early. It was a pretty awesome crowd, so got them into it, scored some goals, and found a way to win.
And Bobby, you played a pretty prominent role in Saturday night's victory. You had a pair of goals, including the game winner. Can you take us kind of inside that final play, how that set up? I know it was a real barn burner. Pretty good game over there at the stable.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a great game. All our guys showed up, ready to play. So the last goal was kind of a broken play down low. Our guys had good possession down low. We got down there pretty good. Grant Loving took it around the net, threw it out in front, and I was fortunate to find an opening and finish it.
Now, guys, we'll ask each of you for your bios. Just kind of give us a brief background, I should say, where you're from, how you got here to Cedar Rapids and with the Rough Riders. And, Stephen, I'll start down on your end.
I just grew up playing in New Jersey, played high school for a season, and played U16 for North Jersey Avalanche, where Bobby played last year, too. And I was fortunate enough to get out here this year, and I played a little bit U18 earlier this year also. So.
And then Bobby, how about you? Where you're from and your background, how you got here to Cedar Rapids?
Yeah, I'm from Middletown, New Jersey. Played in the Avalanche program last year with Steve. Had a pretty good year last year, and then I started off the year with the Chicago Steel. And then around November, I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to come to Cedar Rapids and take part of the season with the Rough Riders.
And Coach, I mean, it always slips my mind. You have to remind me. Where are you from again?
Well, I've lived all over the East, but right now I call New Jersey home.
Yeah. So, as you may have picked up at this point, we've got a bit of a theme going on upstage tonight. That's why we called it the Jersey Boys Night. These guys all from New Jersey. I think that's the first time we've had that up on stage. Throughout the season, had a couple players from Minnesota. We had that Edina drama last week. We had a couple guys from Michigan a few weeks back, but now we got the whole Jersey contingent up here. We're going to get into those questions just a few minutes. I want to ask one thing, though, a couple of things. Bobby, I heard you have a nickname that I read about recently, Showtime. What's up with that? What's behind that nickname?
I don't know. The guys have a little bit of fun with it. They like calling me it. I don't mind it. So we're kind of just rolling with it.
No, that's a lot worse nicknames than that. It's a pretty nice nickname to have.
I'm okay with that.
There you go. You're just getting all the nicknames. Showtime, Big Time, it all works. Steven, you have any nicknames that you know that the guys have dropped on you?
Nah, nothing crazy. Aggro, Ags, so nothing crazy. Just a little shorten of the last name.
Coach, did you know about the Showtime nickname? You heard about this?
I heard it last week in the dressing room, yeah.
Yeah. It's out there. It's in the public. It's in the press now, too. As far as guys, looking ahead real quick to your college commitments, future plans that you have, Steven, I'll start on your end as you look toward your future. What do you got going on?
I was fortunate enough to commit to Penn State and hopefully eventually get there and have success there.
And what went into that decision? How did you choose the Nittany Lions?
I visited there one time, and I don't know, I just fell in love with the school, and eventually they gave me the opportunity to eventually attend that school, so I took that for sure.
And Bobby, how about your future plans, what you've got going on beyond the Rough Riders?
Yeah, I'll be coming back next year to better my game a little bit more, and then I'll be attending Northeastern University up in Boston, so I'm very excited for that.
And Coach, I wonder if you could take a few minutes like we usually do and talk a bit about each of these guys, what they bring to the team, and why'd you bring them on board?
Sure. Well, as everybody knows, we had a lot of movement this year, with our roster, and I really like the team that we have put together right now. And going back to the fall, we had a chance to acquire Ags, in one of the moves that we were making, and we knew a lot about him and about his ability and his skill level and his character and those kinds of things. And of course, the fact that he's from the state of New Jersey played into things when we made the deal. So we're happy to bring him on board. And then if I have the order right, I think Ags got here before Bobby.
It did.
And then once we figured we brought one Jersey guy in, I was looking for another one. And then I found out that Bobby was available, and I'd seen him over the years and did some research on him. So we were able to bring another Jersey guy on, and here we are.
It's always power in threes, especially power in numbers. Remember that this weekend, Riders have 2 games. Friday against Team USA. That is a home game at the Stable. It's Salute to Service night. $2 two-for specials, and also special jerseys I think the players are going to be wearing. They'll auction those off after the game. And then Saturday up at Dubuque, we know that's a great rivalry. All right, now, for the past few weeks or so, I've been doing kind of this like speed round, speed session where we ask the players the best of. We kind of go down. We spend about 10 minutes or so on that. Tonight, that's getting a whole redo. That's becoming Jersey-fied. We're going to make that all Jersey themed tonight for the most part. We'll fit a few of those other questions in there, but for the most part, this is all going to be Jersey related. And guys, I'll ask you first, because obviously being a little corn cob out here in Iowa, real limited exposure. Probably should have done this last week. I actually just got back from New York and New Jersey this past weekend for business and vacation, so I could have used the tourist information before I went, but this will be good because I'll go back. So, first of all, how far are you guys all apart in the state of New Jersey? Give us an idea as far as if you guys had any contact with each other before, kind of how close you actually are in the state. Steven, Bobby, and even Coach?
I think Bobby and I live 45 minutes to an hour away. Over the summer, we go down to the Jersey Shore. I'm sure everybody's heard of it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Bobby lives 10 minutes from where I rent a house for 2 weeks every year, so pretty close to each other.
And Coach, how close are you guys to where these guys, or how close were you to where these guys grew up?
Well, my mom's house is in Pennington, which I think is about probably 45 minutes to an hour from where these guys live. And then my mom has a short house on Long Beach Island, so that's how I find my way down the shore.
Now, with family still there, how often do you get back to New Jersey, back to home, Coach?
Not as much as I would like, but every once in a while during the holidays, but that hasn't happened too often. But throughout the course of the summer, for sure, my wife Tammy and I, we get out there a little bit, and we used to take the boys quite a bit when they were younger, and they're starting to want to go back now because they're a little bit older. And as these guys know, shore life is pretty good when you get into your late teens, early 20s.
All right, guys, so you're in the prime of it right now. Do you find any time to go back home? I know a life of a hockey player in the USHL gets pretty busy, but Bobby, I'll ask you first. Any time to get back to Jersey?
We were fortunate enough to get about a week and a half over Christmas break, so that was nice. And then we'll be heading home probably around April, about that. So I'll enjoy a couple months for the summer and then get ready to come back here for next year.
And Steven, how about you, getting back home to Jersey? Find time to fit that in?
Yeah, definitely over Christmas break, like Bobby said, it was awesome getting back and seeing family and friends that I haven't seen in a couple months. And as Bobby said, after the season we get to go home also, and should be a good time.
All right, guys, now I was in Newark for half a day last Thursday. Anything I should have definitely done when I was in Newark?
Nothing to do in Newark.
Nothing to do in Newark. All right, Coach, you got anything coming to mind?
Yeah, I can touch base on Newark. The problem with New Jersey is that most people, a lot of people drive through on the on the turnpike, right, fellas?
Yeah.
And they see the swamps of Jersey, which I think are a beautiful thing, and they see maybe a little bit of Newark there, and drive by the stadiums and whatnot, and I think that's all there is.
Yeah.
When there's really, as we're about to tell you, much more than that.
All right, guys, let's go down the line. I'll start with you, Steve. Favorite restaurant in Jersey? Place you got to go?
Ziz's Italian Deli.
Bobby, how about you?
I'm going to go with Talercio's. It's a little small, hole-in-the-wall little deli that unbelievable sandwiches, all types of food you can get there.
What's your go-to when you go there?
I go with the chicken Talercio. It's like their chicken, some mozzarella, their homemade sauce on it on a little hero. Pretty good.
All right, Coach, how about you?
I'm going to go with Italian place called Enzo's, one of those cool little spots. It only has about 12 tables in it, and great little ambiance and good Italian food.
Now, where is that at in Jersey?
That is in, I don't know if it's in Lawrenceville or not. It's right next to Pennington. I think it might be in Lawrenceville.
All right, now related to the restaurant question, but if you come to Iowa, people will tell you that you got to have sweet corn, you got to have a pork tenderloin. What's the signature dish in Jersey? If I'm in Jersey and I got a couple of days, what do I have to walk out of there having? Steven, I'll start with you.
Either pizza or, as Bobby calls it, pork roll, but we call it Taylor ham up north. Put it on some eggs and some cheese and a nice roll. Nothing's better.
There you go. We're getting the inside information.
Yeah.
Bobby, how about you?
Yeah,
Where are you going to?
Definitely hit up a bagel place. Homemade fresh bagels in the morning. Nothing beats it. Nice little pork roll, egg, and cheese.
And Coach, how about you as we go down the line? Signature dish.
Signature dish, I would say anything Italian, which would include the pizza and New Jersey's top shelf.
All right, Bobby, I'll start with you this time. Best vacation spot, maybe even a hidden gem in Jersey. I know you guys were talking about the shore earlier, but a specific spot in mind?
I'd probably say the Long Beach Island. Definitely a great place to hit up. It's about a half hour south of me, so it's definitely a great place. The beaches are unbelievable down there. People are nice down there. It's a good time.
All right, Coach interjected real quick there, so I got to ask Coach. You seem like you're on board with the Long Island theme.
Yeah, I got to go with Long Beach Island. It's a great spot, and fortunate that my mom has a place there, and it's when you're headed there, there's, as these guys know, there's this kind of nice bridge that takes you from the mainland onto the shore, and I usually have one fist pump out the sunroof as I'm going over that bridge, going onto the island, as they say.
Springsteen blaring?
Oh, of course, Springsteen. Yeah. Probably Jersey Girl.
Yeah.
Probably playing.
Yeah.
And then away we go. So.
All right, Steven, how about you? You got a spot that differs from these guys?
Same spot. Long Beach Island's the place to go. Definitely best fishing, too. So got to be there for the summer.
All right, talking about fishing, that's a good segue into my next question. I'll stay with you, Stephen. Best way to spend a summer in Jersey? If you got great weather, you got 2 or 3 months in the summertime, what are you doing?
Head down the Long Beach Island or head down the shore and do some fishing with my dad or with some friends.
Bobby, how about you?
Definitely enjoy your beach days. You know, the weather's nice down there in the summer, so definitely get out there, enjoy the water, enjoy the ocean, enjoy the beach.
All right, Coach, and how are you spending your summers in Jersey? Take us into did it differ from when you were a kid to now, or are you just forever young when you get back to Jersey?
Well, I'm definitely forever young when I get back there. It was, we moved around a lot, so it was when I was kind of in my older teens, early 20s, when my parents actually moved to Jersey. So I would just say that the best way to spend it is just to be down the shore, as we say.
All right, now I've got I think, at least in my mind, what is my best Jersey-related question coming up, but I got to sneak a hockey-related question in here just to give us just a brief relaxation, but it's still Jersey-related. Being from Jersey, guys, how'd you get involved in the game of hockey? How'd you come about it in the first place? Stephen, I'll start on your end.
My dad grew up in Long Island, New York. Played a lot of roller hockey, never played ice hockey, but when I was younger, he just got me into it. Around 3 or 4 years old, he started bringing me to the rink, and then he tells these stories that I never really wanted to go, and he would bribe me to go to the rink every day, but never paid off those bribes. But I fell in love with it, and I just stuck with it.
Bobby, how about you? How'd you get involved in the game?
Yeah, pretty similar. My dad, grandpa, they all grew up in Queens, New York, so they played just a little roll of tape as a hockey puck and played in the streets, closed off their little side street and played there. And my dad got me into it pretty young, and I just fell in love with it.
And Coach, I know I asked about your background just a few weeks ago, but as long as we're on the Jersey theme, how'd you first get involved in the game when you were a kid on the East Coast and in New Jersey?
Well, when I was really young, 4 years old, we lived in the suburbs of New York City and right on the border of New Jersey. And a gentleman on my street who was friends with my parents, he coached a semi-pro team, which was called the New Jersey Colonials, and they played out of Sportorama. And we used to go to a lot of those games. And then there was two or three kids on the street who were all the same age, and so Mr. Leali was, that's Jersey style, New York style, Mr. Sally Alley. Okay, he was the coach of the New Jersey Colonials, and he invited me to start playing, and he coached our youth team. So it was me and my two buddies were 4 years old, and we got playing and just absolutely loved it.
All right, guys, I had to do this. I'll ask the players, and Coach, you can even jump in on this if you want to. Stephen, I'll start on your end. If you were a Jersey Shore character, who would you be?
Gotta go Vinny, just because he's always out of all the drama.
Bobby, how about you? Jersey Shore character?
I might go Paulie D. He's always having fun. He's just enjoying life.
All right, Coach, first question, how aware are you of Jersey Shore, of that show? And then if you are aware of it, can you match yourself up with any character on that show?
Well, I'm not. I'm just aware of it because a lot of my buddies will kind of bust my chops about the show, and they think that that's what the Jersey Shore is, but it's really not. Some areas are though. Mm-hmm. So I don't know much. I don't know much about the show. I know a lot of the Jersey people, but not actually the show.
Okay, and that's a good segue that you brought it up, Coach. I was going to ask you guys, Coach included, that show, it's really disparaged. The Shore, New Jersey, negative light. A lot of people look at New Jersey like that's all it is. How exaggerated is that, and what's the real essence of the Jersey Shore? Stephen, I'll start on your end.
To start it off, none of those people are from New Jersey.
Okay, all right, so that's on the record for sure.
Yeah, they're from New York. So,
yeah.
I think that's a lot of people interpret it that way, but it's really not. There's actually a lot of families down there, and it's a good family spot, and it's a lot of fun for families to go down there and spend time together. Nightlife is probably crazy like that, I'm sure, but not as like Bobby and I know.
Yeah.
Bobby, how about you? Your impressions of the Shore?
Yeah, it's definitely not what it makes it out to be. It's down in Seaside Heights, where it's a pretty nice boardwalk, and still actually probably getting recovered from Sandy, but before that it was a pretty nice boardwalk, and like Steve said, the nightlife is probably like what they interpret it to be, but that's not really the Jersey Shore.
And Coach, how about your 2 cents as far as the Jersey Shore is concerned?
Nightlife you talking about?
Oh, nightlife and the whole, the image that's kind of been tapered around it now and everything.
Yeah, I mean, what I can say is that if you really get to know the Jersey Shore, I mean, there's just there's so many different beaches and so many different little shore towns, and I mean, the majority of them are absolutely gorgeous, and some of them are real quiet, and obviously some get very, very busy, especially during the summertime. But yeah, from what I've heard, that show was just kind of a small slice.
Now, as far as Hurricane Sandy is concerned, were you guys, the property, family, anybody affected by that? Stephen, I'll start on your end.
I'm not too close to the shore, so I only lost power for 2 weeks, so that wasn't too bad. But I'm sure people down south, I know a lot of people lost their houses.
Bobby, how about you? Any effect from that?
Yeah, we were probably out of power for like a month or so, and a bunch of family friends by me, they were like living in hotels for a while. Their houses kind of destroyed. We actually, the next morning, we drove around, or rode our bikes around, because most of the roads were closed off. So we rode our bikes around just to see all the damage, and there was huge trees fall down on houses, the whole 9 yards. It was pretty bad.
And Coach, how about you? With family still back there, what was Hurricane Sandy like for you with your experience?
Long Beach Island got hit really, really, really hard, and my mom's street was real fortunate where nothing on her street got hit too hard, but almost everything around it did. And when you go back even now, and the guys can tell you, there's still empty lots and some houses that haven't been repaired yet, and things of that nature. But at the same time, much like Cedar Rapids when we had the flood, a lot of it has come back even better and even stronger.
Now, last week with the show, we had a couple Minnesota guys, and we had this Edina drama. It's like pretty well known. There's even a video on YouTube about this. So that led me to think, with that being such a hated town from a lot of people, like people just got a lot of ire for that town. Any spot in Jersey that you grew up just hating, like a high school rival, some town you were like, I want nothing to do with that? Stephen, I'll start on your end. Big rivalry, hatred?
I went to private school for 2 years, freshman and sophomore year, at Del Barton, and our biggest rival was CBA, and that's where Bobby attended for freshman, sophomore year too. But Bobby's a grade older than I am, so we never played each other. I played JV my freshman year, and he also left that school after his sophomore year. So.
All right, Bobby, so are you going to come back with your hated high school or hated town back the other way, or are you going to try to keep it civil?
I'll let Steve have it. So, yeah, we were the South all-boys school, they're the North all-boys school, so we had a little bit of beef for sure, but it was all right.
And Coach, how about you when you were growing up, playing any town or any school that you just absolutely hated, had a vengeance for?
Not that I could think of really, because I was a little bit older, when we got over there, and I actually was out of high school, so nothing that really comes to mind.
Now, you guys have obviously a lot of professional sports options on the East Coast and along the shoreline there, but have to ask you guys, we'll get to sports teams in a second too in terms of professional sports team, but favorite Jersey or East Coast college growing up, someone at your college or an institution you're a real big fan of or kind of close to the vest? Stephen, I'll start with you.
Well, in New Jersey, we don't really have any big state schools. I'd say Rutgers is the biggest one, but they're not really that great at sports. So the nearest big-time school has to be Penn State. So growing up, fan of them.
All right, Bobby. I can interpret that body language pretty clearly, but what are you going with for favorite school? Maybe we already know your hated college. I already got that out of the way.
Yeah, like Steve said, Rutgers is probably our big state school. So like growing up a little bit, my dad would take me to basketball games and stuff like that, which was pretty neat. So probably say Rutgers.
And Coach, how about you?
Yeah, I mean these guys have got it. They've got it down. They're probably Rutgers.
And then, as far as sports venues are concerned, favorite venue, it doesn't have to be just in Jersey, obviously really close to New York as well, but on the East Coast, favorite kind of sports venue, somewhere you look forward to going watching games when you were a kid? Bobby, I'll start with you.
Yeah, definitely going to see New York Rangers games. The city is unbelievable, and the Garden is just an unbelievable place to watch a hockey game. So growing up, that was definitely always something I look forward to. If my dad got me tickets, always looking forward to that. So I'd definitely say Rangers games.
Stephen, how about you?
I'm a Devils fan, but going to the Garden for Knicks games and Ranger games are awesome, so can't go wrong with that.
And Coach, what would you look forward to as far as a venue you really like to go to?
Well, I was lucky to go to MSG quite a bit when I was young and growing up, but I'm gonna stick with New Jersey and say the old Giant Stadium, and was fortunate to go to some Giant games there, and Tammy and I went and saw Springsteen there, years ago, and that was quite an experience for sure. And so I would say the old Giant Stadium was awesome.
All right, guys, being from Jersey like Coach, I have to know, do you share his love for Bruce Springsteen, Steven?
My dad does. I'm not really a big Springsteen guy. I'm sure if I listened to it, I'd like it. But.
All right, Bobby, how about you?
I think I'm supposed to say yes, so I'll go with that.
Yeah, see, Steven's got the benefit of having you kind of as a buffer right here next to Coach. But, Coach, how do you try to initiate these guys into Springsteen, especially being fellow Jersey guys?
You know, I mean, I talk every year to the team about Springsteen and the East Street Band. And I will say this, though, and guys can check, but Ross Colton, I mean, geez, it's kind of ironic that the all-time leading single-season goal scorer from the state of New Jersey for the Rough Riders.
That is.
But he heard all the stories for 2 years, and then he sent a picture last year outside the new Giant Stadium where he went to see the boss, and I checked in with him after, and he said, now I understand.
Yeah, see, if you plant the seeds, if you work on them long enough, you will get them. You might just turn on the Spotify in the locker room from now on, and maybe you can, like subliminal messaging, you'll get it in there. All right, Steven, I think you already gave the answer to this one, but I'll ask you guys anyways, go down the line. Devils, Islanders, or Rangers?
Devils.
Bobby?
Rangers.
Coach?
Rangers.
Wow, so we only have one true guy who's stuck with an in-state Jersey team. All right. As far as state pride and rivalry among the team, among the rest of these guys, I know this team, some compaction this year. We have a lot of guys from Minnesota. I know a few guys from Michigan, so we got some Midwest vibe going on there. I know at least one guy from the Pittsburgh area, people from overseas, obviously. How's the rivalry in the locker room as far as interstate rivalry and beef go? Steven, I'll ask you.
Well, recently a couple of our youth teams have been playing each other in their league championships, so it's gotten pretty intense inside the locker room. Dalton Messina played for the Oakland Grizzlies last year. Bobby's team beat them in the finals last year, and my U16 team also beat a couple Detroit teams last year in the championship. So,
man, we had Dalton up here a week or two ago, so I feel bad that he's not going to get a chance to rebuttal. He might have to hop up here in one of our last 4 episodes or so. Bobby, how about you? The rivalry in the locker room as far as in-state, especially with you guys being from Jersey.
Yeah, I'd definitely say the East Coast guys stick together for sure. A little bit of beef with the Midwest guys, but that's just the way it is growing up. So I'll probably say that, yeah.
And Coach, I know it's all about talent and hard work and dedication to the game, but you ever give any preference to these Jersey guys?
No, I can't do that. People say so after the show happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't do that, though.
And as far as, do you feel that rivalry in the team as far as guys from Jersey and some of the other states, especially when you kind of have groups of guys from the same kind of region here and there?
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about sports and especially hockey, I think, is there's always a lot of good-natured ribbing that's going on, down in the room. So, I definitely hear a lot of that going on, and I'm sure more will start next week when the Minnesota State High School Championship starts, and all the Minnesota guys will be talking about that, and then these guys will be saying that it's not really that good of hockey, and then the Michigan guys will chime in and say it's nowhere as good as midget, and then we'll have all AAA guys, and all kinds of things will be going on.
I was going to say, there's a lot of different hockey competing factions going on in that locker room. As far as being from the East Coast and having to kind of adjust here in the Midwest life and the Midwest swing of things, what was that adjustment like for you, Steven? I'll ask you coming out here to the Midwest.
It was a pretty easy adjustment. Everything's a lot more relaxed here. People from New Jersey, especially in the East Coast, everything's fast-paced. Everyone's always in a rush. People are always driving fast. But definitely out here, everything's more relaxed. And yeah.
Bobby, how about you? Adjustment coming out here to the Midwest. I know you were with Chicago before, so you kind of got a bit of a leeway or a bit of an adjustment to the Midwest already.
Yeah, people out here are very nice. That's one thing I definitely have to say. But the adjustment was pretty easy. Everyone was welcoming, so it was pretty easy to just dive right into it.
And Coach, I know you spent obviously a lot of time out on the East Coast before you got here to Cedar Rapids. What was that initial adjustment for you when you came out here, and not only deciding on whether you wanted to take the position or not, but also getting used to the area and the Midwest and all of that?
It was a really easy adjustment. Back where I grew up, I was lived in Pennsylvania for a while, and in New Jersey, and there are similarities. In New Jersey, there's a lot of cornfields, and not as many as here, but there's some beautiful country, and in Pennsylvania as well, where I went to high school. And so for me, it was real simple. And as we all know, there's certainly enough to do here in Cedar Rapids. And I've always said it's not too big, it's not too small, and it's a great spot. So it's real easy to adjust to.
Now I have to ask a few more Jersey questions because I have to get this tourist guide ready for the next time I go back to the East Coast. What's the one thing I for sure have to do next time I'm on the East Coast, or specifically in Jersey? Stephen, the one thing you got to do, maybe even it doesn't have to be touristy, but just something you got to hit up.
Well, if you're close to New York, you have to check out the city. It's an awesome time. Spend a day shopping or just walk around checking out Times Square, and then if you can, get to the Garden for a basketball or hockey game.
Bobby, how about you? The thing you got to do if you go to the East Coast or the Jersey area?
Definitely get a slice of pizza. The best pizza in the country, I think. And then I'd say check out the ocean. Go to a beach, check out the ocean, take it all in. It's a really beautiful sight. So I definitely say those two things.
Coach, how about you? The one thing you got to do, or maybe even a couple things you got to do when you get back to the East Coast?
Yeah, a couple of things you got to do. You got to go down the shore. Absolutely have to do that. We can help you with where to go.
Okay, yeah, I'll ask you.
And then secondly, I can't believe that we haven't talked about it. I can't believe we almost, if the show would have ended. You have to go to Wawa. He's got to go to Wawa.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, yeah. You got to fill me in now. You got everybody in.
You got to go to, like, Wawa, it's the best convenience store in the world, and most of them are in New Jersey. And they just have the best selection. They got great, what do we call them, hoagies?
Hoagies, yep.
They have great hoagies. And they have the best iced tea that you can ever get.
Okay.
So you got to go to Wawa.
All right, guys, and I saw you shaking your heads. You agree with that? That's a definite must-hit. Stephen?
Definitely. Best sandwiches. I mean, you can get anything you want there, so.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And then, guys, when you get back to Jersey in our last couple minutes here, what's the first thing you do when you get back home, Stephen?
Definitely just get back in touch with family and friends, and probably head over to my grandma's house and have a family dinner.
And Bobby, how about you?
Yeah, definitely catch up with people I haven't seen in a while, and then probably grab a pork leg and cheese on a fresh bagel.
All right, Coach. How about you?
Well, the bagels are somewhere on the agenda for sure.
Okay.
And it usually is, everything's usually related to food. So whatever, talk to my mom about that, see what the deal is there, and everybody should know when my mom comes out. She comes out, depends, 3 or 4 times a year, and she actually packs up like food, like Italian food, those like Italian pastries and stuff from the bakeries, and brings them out here.
Oh, okay.
And then, so we usually have a pretty good Italian meal, believe it or not, that gets flown out via Fran.
So you get a taste of the East Coast right here in Iowa.
Yeah.
All right, guys, and then we probably already know Coach's answer to this, but if you have one, who's your favorite New Jersey East Coast celebrity or athlete? It can be either one. Obviously, those two things kind of merge together. Steven, I'll ask you.
Well, I'm a Devils fan. Kyle Palmieri plays for the Devils. He's one of their best players. Led their team in scoring last year, and he played high school hockey in New Jersey against a team that Bobby and I both played against for a while, so got to go with him.
Bobby, how about you?
I might agree with Steve. He's a great guy to look up to from the local area, doing similar things to what we were doing and trying to pursue, so definitely a great guy to look up to.
And Coach, how about you?
This is a tough one. I mean, all the famous people.
Yeah, so many.
You got Bon Jovi, you got Bill Parcells.
Yeah.
I mean, you got James Gandolfini, who we haven't even talked about him.
Yeah, Sinatra.
Springsteen, Sinatra. I mean, the list goes on and on. I'm going to go with a tie, if that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Bruce Springsteen, and then I'm going to go with Bill Parcells, right out of Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey, Hall of Fame, NFL coach.
All right, now, we're going to go a little over, but that's okay. We're running with the theme. Okay, since Coach kind of mentioned it, The Sopranos. Obviously, that's the other big thing people think about when they think about Jersey. Were you a big lover of that show, and how did that relate for you? Steven, I'll start on your end.
Never seen the show, but Goodfellas is pretty similar to that.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's in the past, and it doesn't really go on, but it still goes on a little bit.
Sure. Bobby, how about you? Any Sopranos love?
My dad is a huge fan of The Sopranos. In the beginning scene, they come out of the Lincoln Tunnel, which is one of the tunnels that he works at the Holland Tunnel. So he's got friends at the Lincoln Tunnel, so he always likes that and talks about that, and he thinks he's cool for that. So.
All right, Coach, you kind of gave a nod to it, but Sopranos, big into it, relate to it at all with the Jersey vibe, the Jersey theme?
Oh, I mean, The Sopranos is unreal. And if anybody wants to get to know the state of New Jersey, you should start watching The Sopranos. I have every box set. And but I mean, when you look at Tony and you look at his wife Carmela and the kids, and then Chrissy Melisante and Adriana, I mean, you got these people you get a real feel for the state of New Jersey if you watch this show.
All right, guys, I got to ask you, too, I'm sure it's down on the shore, too, but the best spot, if you're going back for the summer, where are the girls at in Jersey? Where are we going to try to find the real hot girls at? Steven?
I spend most of my time in Lavalette, so, I mean, I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
Bobby, how about you?
I'd probably say Sandy Hook, which is the local beach that I go to. It's about 5 minutes from my house, so it's a pretty good spot, pretty popular in the summer, so it's always crowded for summer days at the beach.
All right, Coach, I don't want to get you in trouble, so you can defer this if you don't answer, but if you want to offer something up, feel free, maybe from your younger days.
Oh, God. Well, I'm lucky I have my beautiful wife here, so, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really know the exact spot.
Okay.
You know, I don't know.
Good answer. And if anybody wants to get started on The Sopranos, you could probably borrow the season from Coach, too, so you know where to go if you don't want to spend the money on it. Okay, guys, I'll wrap up because I always want to focus on the housing families here, who you live with. Steven, I'll start on you.
I live with the Fielders, and they're a great family. They're welcoming, and it made it a really easy transition coming out here, and it's always fun going home after practice.
And Bobby, how about you, your host family, and what's that adjustment been like?
Yeah, I live with Brad and Katie Meisterling over there. Great couple, very welcoming. They made me feel at home as soon as I got there, so it was a very easy adjustment.
And favorite host family meal, Bobby, I'll ask you right away.
Katie makes some pretty good panini, so I'll definitely give her that. And then Brad's famous for my pregame meatball parm heroes, which I'm in love with.
Oh, okay. Coach, have you had those?
I haven't, but I didn't even invite myself over.
Yeah, it seems like right up your alley from what I've heard in the last 20 minutes or so. Steven, how about you? Favorite host family dinner, something you look forward to every week?
Gotta go seafood, Jersey guy, so some nice fish and crab.
All right, guys, before we talk about this coming weekend's action, as we always do, we wrap up that way. I have to know if there's anything I haven't covered or something about Jersey you want to throw in. I want to make sure I leave no stone unturned as far as covering the state. Steven, last words on Jersey. It's your last chance to rep.
Best state in the country, for sure.
All right, there we go. Best state in the country. Bobby, how about you?
What he said?
Seconded ditto with that. And Coach, how about it?
So the question is, anything else left to mention?
Yeah, last words on Jersey.
I would say that, and these guys can relate to this, you know, again, with the beauty, I mean, definitely the most beautiful state in the nation. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're on the Garden State Parkway on a fall Saturday or Sunday, and you got the foliage going,
yeah,
and especially after maybe winning a tilt, nice bantam tilt when we were all younger,
yeah,
and you're cruising down the Parkway, and that's what life's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, if that description right there didn't make you want to visit New Jersey, I don't know what's going to do it for you. That was some pretty nice imagery. Final thoughts as we head into this weekend's action. We have Friday at home against Team USA and then Saturday at Dubuque. Steven, I'll start with you. Your thoughts as you head into this weekend's action.
Our team's playing great hockey right now, and we're getting better every day, so I'm excited to see how we play this weekend.
And Bobby, how about you? Your thoughts heading into this weekend?
Yeah, definitely. We've had a great week of preparation so far. We got one more practice tomorrow, and then take on Team USA on Friday, and then head over to Dubuque on Saturday. So we're really looking forward to it.
And Coach, final words with you. I know from some of the stuff I've read, you're seeing a lot of progress with this team, really making some advancements with each game.
Yeah, we're seeing great progress and a great opportunity to show some consistency on Friday. So we're excited about that.
All right, everybody. I want to once again thank Coach Carlson, Bobby, and Steven for making the time for us here and taking a few minutes to come up here and talk all about hockey, but also a lot about Jersey as well. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coop.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And a reminder that the Rough Riders, as I mentioned, 2 games this coming weekend. Friday is the home game, Team USA inside the stable, and then Saturday go up the road just about an hour or so at Dubuque. So if you want to go up see the Rough Riders, you can go on up and see them there. Friday night's game is Salute to Service Night, special jerseys I think the players are going to be wearing, and you can get those after the game. I think they're going to have a post-game auction as well. Do we have a question from the audience?
How did Bobby get named Showtime?
Oh, Bobby, how did that nickname come about? I kind of started it off with that, but how did that all come to be?
Sorry.
Self-proclaimed.
Not true? Negative. Not true. Okay, so we're going to have a back and forth about that, it seems like, for a while. It's kind of like that Magic Johnson vibe. It's like the Showtime, but Bobby is saying he did not self-proclaim that. That is not his self-title. All right, and we got some players who say, yes, we did. I got a feeling this is not going to be the last time we dredge this up. We're talking about Showtime probably in the coming weeks as well. Thanks, everybody, for coming on out. We will be here next Wednesday night for another Lowdown on Ridertown. You can catch the podcast up at krna.com and the KRNA YouTube page. I want to once again thank the Rough Riders and the Union Station Extension for having us. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Good job, Coop. That was awesome.
And we have our drawing, too. We'll get that in here before we wrap up for the night.
Good stuff.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Steve, thanks.
Thank you.
And this is for a team-signed jersey, right?
Yep.
All right.
Everybody's going to draw it.
Okay, we've got a volunteer to draw.
Cooper.
All right, let's see who we have. And I apologize in advance if I mispronounce your name. Erica Tarks? Erica? Hey, in the back. Congrats. Team signed jersey. A reminder that we have drawings, I think, every week, so you can get on out and come on out for that. Thanks again for coming. We'll see you next week.